What is up, guys? It's J-Rob here with Team Energy Golf Clash, and we are going to be going over a guide today for Tour 5. As you see, I got some clubs up here already. We got the Extra Mile here, the Guardian coming up, the Goliath here. We're just basically going to be going over some clubs that are best suitable for Tour 5 play and clubs that you can unlock during Tour 5 play. So we're basically going to be trying to get some clubs here to rank up, because that's essentially what we're going to be trying to do here usually in Tour 5. We're going to be trying to rank up some clubs. So we're going to be using all Tour 5 clubs essentially, or mid-grade clubs around Tour 5, and maybe a little bit of higher level clubs, and we'll put in some play here and see how things go. So let's jump on into it, guys. Okay, guys, first hole here. You can play this hole one of two different ways. You can play it to the right side here with a nice tailwind, but we're going to play it to the left side here. Marlin ball, nothing special. Not a whole lot of wind here on this shot, so just straightforward, nice shot down the left-hand fairway and get us a nice setup shot for the next layup to the green. Okay, our opponent's shot here, you can see that he's going to play this one down the right side fairway here, the opposite side of what I played it. Like I said, with a nice tailwind, you can actually go for the green on this one and bounce it off that right fairway towards the green. But he's going to play it safe here with a little bit of curl and land it on that first fairway there and have a nice setup for, a long iron shot. Or if he gets, close and has a nice short iron with distance, he can get a short iron shot too there. Alright, guys, my next shot here, on this bag here, I have the backbone. So we're just going to play this one up here to the green with a little bit of backspin here. And you don't need much because it's going right up to a little bit of a plateau. And then we're going to adjust for our wind here. I need to make another video about wind adjustment rings. I'll go over it a little bit here in this video, but not a whole lot. Basically, each ring that you have accounts for a certain amount of wind per club accuracy. So whatever club you're using has a different amount of accuracy. So per wind, you can actually get certain ring adjustments so you know exactly where to move your ball. As you can see here, I didn't move this one far enough. So if I would have moved it just, a little bit further, then that one probably would have set right in the hole there. Alright, our opponent's shot here, he's also going to use the backbone. He's going to play this one a little bit different. He's going to basically try to, play this one a little bit closer to the green from the right-hand side there. He's probably, he's kind of lining this one up, honestly, to miss it, because he needs to put a little bit of left side spin or adjust it back into the rough, which he tries to do here, but he's going to miss over because he doesn't adjust far enough.
Perfect shot.
Alright, so as you can see here, my opponent's ball comes in over, just as I suspected. He was flirting with the rough there and was kind of worried about, he didn't know how far it was going to move. So basically, he was worried about not moving it far enough or moving it too far and end up in the rough. So, as you can see here, we're both going to land birdie putts and go on to a shootout. Alright, so as this shootout's about to start here, I'm going to kind of talk about ring adjustments and how important that is. You know, if your gameplay you're playing and somebody that you're playing against is adjusting for the wind and knows how to do it correctly, they're going to be at a very big advantage to you that doesn't know how to adjust for the wind, if you don't. So if you don't know how to adjust for the wind, I would very much suggest going to golfclashnotebook.io. And that is a very, very helpful website that you can put in all of your different clubs, the level of your clubs, and it basically does all of the math for you, doing the accuracy and, you know, the different, you know, miles per hour of wind adjustments per ring that you may have at certain distances, such as max distance, you know, middle distance club, or a minimum distance club, you know, with a thorn or a, you know, a different wood that you may be adjusting for the wind, you know, middle distance or minimum distance, you know, or you might be trying to overpower or max out a shot, you know, and get that all the way where you need it to go. So wind adjustment is very important, and that is one big thing that I would definitely suggest getting on your game. So another big thing to keep in account for is backspin and, you know, topspin, and really reading the green and the fairway and your ball guide and how far that you really think the ball is going to roll after a certain amount of backspin, and, you know, judging the green or the fairway on how far that ball might roll. So sometimes it's a little bit of a judgment call. Like here on this hole, you know, he's shooting this one straight ahead at the pin with 2 bars backspin, and he's adjusting he adjusted a little bit for his wind and just missed this one right to the right, but didn't have enough backspin on it, so it went past the pin and rolled down the other side slope, and I won. Since I put a little bit more backspin on there to get it to stop going right towards the hole, it didn't catch that lick that he did and, you know, roll it all the way down to the side of the green. Alright, so we won that one here. We're on a 9-win streak as of right now. We're going to play a couple more games here. Give us a nice little bit of content here for Tour 5. So we can, you know, kind of get a lot of the holes played and, you know, a good feel for how to play a lot of these holes in Tour 5. As we open some of our chests here, you can kind of get a feel for, you know, some items that you might, you know, get in Tour 5. You know, see there, I just upgraded the Hornet to level 8. So that's going to be a really sweet club to use now. And let's jump on back into it and see who we can get matched up against and what hole we'll find. Okay, guys, hole 5 here on Sureba Springs, Tour 5. We can play this one a couple different ways as well. You can play it safe down the right-hand side, play it safe down the left, or you can take the right side with a nice tailwind and launch it over the bunkers there to set up a nice, you know, short iron chip to the hole. But we'll play it safe down here, this left-hand fairway, set up a nice wind adjustment here, and put her down that left-hand fairway, play her safe, and set up a long iron shot to the pin.
Great shot.
All right, guys, great shot here. So you can see we bounce ourselves over that first fairway onto the second fairway here. Line ourselves up for a nice long iron shot with the Goliath or the backbone here to the pin. Alright, so as you can see here, it's my opponent's turn. We got a side wind coming here, and he's trying to use a quasar ball and launch it over this sand trap here. It's coming, you know, pushing the ball back towards the sand trap anyway, and he hits it left towards the sand trap, so he's going to be in trouble. bounces off the green and boom, right into the bunker there. So if he would have curled that one right or played it a little bit safer to the right-hand side, he'd have been all right. But he tried to go the aggressive approach and launch over the bunker when, he was never going to make it there. So, all right, we'll set up a nice little Viper shot here, actually, to the pin, and see if we can't get it somewhat close here. This one's going up on a plateau, so it's actually a little bit, tricky. Basically, you don't need as much, backspin as you would think, but, it kind of goes up onto that plateau. So you do need a little bit of backspin, but just not a whole lot because it is going up onto that little hill there. So as you can see, we'll bounce and we bounce up and roll straight towards the pin, but we kind of curl left because we weren't going just as fast enough. There was a little bit too much backspin on there. So a little bit less backspin, about maybe 1 bar or so, and you should be just fine. This guy here, he's in a little bit of trouble though in the bunker. You hit that first bunker back there, and you're going to be in a little bit of trouble making it to the green with some of these sand wedges here. He gets lucky and hits it perfect here, but still doesn't make it up there close enough to the green. He has a give me shot, but it's pretty close there. All right, so we'll knock in this putt here and let our opponent see if he can't bring that little chip in there off the side of the green and go to our shootout. See what we can't make happen in the shootout. So here's the shot, perfect ball, and right towards the pin, going to the shootout. Let's see what kind of hole we get here, and if we can't drop this one in and win. Alright, so we got this same little shootout hole here. We'll play this one with the backbone again. Usually about, 3 and a little bit bar backspin, 2, maybe 4, depending on where you line up your ball. I usually go about 3 and a little bit, into the 4th bar of backspin and line it up about like that green or square just before the pin there. And then I'll make my adjustment. We'll have 6.6 with, minus 15 on the ball. Basically move this one out about, a little bit beyond the blue there for us, 6.6 into the clear ring. And I think this one here will come up a little bit short on perfect ball, but a nice shot, straight at the pin with a little bit less backspin, and we're in really good shape there. Alright guys, so as you can see here, my opponent here is going to come up with a little bit more backspin than he should probably be using, but it all depends on where he places it, like I said before. But he's going to place this one going right at the hole, but he's not going to adjust it enough. And what's going to happen here is he's going to come off, hit a great ball right, and it's going to blow it back towards and not have just enough, and it's going to slide off that little bit of that hill there. You're going to need a little bit of right side spin on this hole to keep it up on that little bit of a plateau there, so it doesn't roll down in the green. Because once it rolls down off the side of that green where the pin is, you're basically going to get a loss for that hole probably, because the other person's probably going to hit it up onto that plateau or play it a little bit safer than you did if you go first. Okay, 10 win streak here. I basically fast forwarded here into this the very next game here that we had. I just basically fast forwarded it because it was the same exact hole as the last hole we played. So we're gonna go into the shootout here and see if we can't snag us another win and make it 11 in a row. Okay, guys, shootout hole right here. Good luck, G-Man. Let's get it, brother. So, okay, this one here, it's got a little bit of a deceiving lie right there, honestly, on that ball guide, because it goes up to a little bit of a plateau, and that ball guide kind of lies to you. Your ball isn't actually going to go up that far. It's going to roll and hit, about in the middle of that fairway and kind of die off, because you can see there's that big hump there on the left side. So you're actually going to want to play this one up a little bit off of that little hill on the side of the hole there.
Perfect
And
shot.
put some backspin on this one and kind of bounce it right off that hole, or that hill there, right towards the hole.
Nice on.
So as you can see, this guy came up short at 6.02 yards, which on this hole, that's probably not very good. So this one with the backbone, if you have less backspin, I would play it straight at the hole, kind of in front of that bunker. But as you can see, I put a little bit of backspin on this one, about like 3.5, 4 bars, maybe four and a little bit, depending on how far up you put it from that that hill right there. But get it as close towards the pin as you can, adjust for your wind, and maybe about a 5% elevation, and see if we can't beat this guy. I put a little bit of overpower on this to get it up more towards that hill right there, and we were very, very close, as you can see. So a little bit of backspin right towards the hole. Okay, now hopping into this hole here in Sureba Springs. This one's a little bit funky, especially when you have a wind that's blowing towards that water. That water can be the death of you. So full topspin here, maybe a bar or two, right spin, depending on how the wind is. You just basically want to hit it right on that ball guide line, straight down the middle there. So, adjust for your wind, and we'll set us up for a nice second shot here with, our short iron to the pin.
Great shot.
Great shot here. As you can see, we're going to come in and bounce off that first fairway, pretty close to the rough there, actually, and roll all the way up that green and go into the rough by accident. I played that one a little bit too far to the right. You need to bounce it a little bit, closer to the middle, not as close to the rough as where I did, and it'll hang in there straight towards that green. But honestly, I was worried about it, blowing so hard towards that water that I played it a little bit more towards that right-hand side. But, knowing we don't have that great of a shot towards, the pin with our Razor or Nirvana, whatever your rough iron is from the rough over there. But it is way better than risking, right there like that, going towards the water and losing a stroke. So we can easily get to the green with our rough iron if we have to do that. But as you can see here, I'm still playing with some lower level clubs. We have the Machete. Obviously you probably don't have the Machete 10 maxed out yet like I do. But just wanted to play with some lower level clubs to give you guys an idea of, what you're going to be playing with, wind adjustments on these clubs, how you're going to have to line it up, and just to show you that it is possible to win with lower level clubs. So as you can see, out of the rough right here
Perfect
with a
shot.
machete, we hit perfect ball, and we get it right up, slow-mo drop, boom,
Eagle.
right in the pin for an eagle. And that's going to be like basic ideal shot right there out of the rough, 100% ideal shot. And this guy here, you know, he landed in the rough back further, so he's definitely going to have a lot harder shot at the pin than I had. Basically, he's either going to have to bounce it off right there, which, you know, he's got enough topspin to do it, but he's going to have to judge the ball right. But if I was him, I would just play it with overpower right there with full backspin towards that hole and just try to get it to bounce, you know, up and over the pin and roll back towards the pin right there. But he's going to take his shot here, and boom.
Great shot.
This one's probably going to be close to the water. Yeah, because he didn't play enough overpower to adjust for his wind at max club. So we're going to win that one here again. And that is hole 1, par 4 on Drumore Links. Sorry, that was Drumore Links, not Sureba Springs. So gold chest here on Tour 5, and that is 12 wins in a row. Okay, hole 9 here on Drumore Links. You can play this one a couple different ways too. We're going to play the bounce over onto the rock shot here. You need just about, you know, as much topspin as you got, probably with a lower level extra mile. Not too crazy much topspin if you have a higher level extra mile. You know, not full topspin if you have 9 or 8. You know, I would probably go like a bar less. But, you know, with especially with a headwind here that we have, or a tailwind going away from us, bounce over onto the rocks there. We're kind of close, but just into the rough there to roll out. Perfect shot on the fairway. That's ideal shot, what we're looking for. If you get too much topspin, you'll hit the rocks and not clip the rough, and you will hit the fairway, and you will bounce all the way over and potentially roll into that bunker, dooming you for this hole. Also, the water is a huge factor. You know, you can hit a bad shot. Perfect, you know, great to perfect off this tee is about, you know, exactly what you need. If you goof up your tee shot off your drive, probably going to be in trouble on this hole here. So as you can see here, my opponent's got full overpower with the tailwind going away from us, and kind of goofs up on his drive here when he hits a good shot to the left. And, you know, the ball is going to push it so far forward that it clips the rough right there and ends up straight into the bunker. And he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. So, as you can see, we have a nice shot here with our Viper straight at the pin. 6.4 mile an hour wind to the left, or to the right there. And as you can see, our opponent knew he was in a little bit of trouble there, and he just dipped on right out, gave us the win. So I'm pretty sure that's about 13 wins in a row at the moment. There it is, 13 wins in a row. So let's open this chest, and we'll find us another game and see if we can't keep this streak a-rolling. Another Drumore Links hole here. We got a nice tailwind going away from us with 7.1 mile an hour. We'll usually play this one down that little right hooked fairway with some right side spin and some curl with, different winds. But a nice tailwind, we can play this one bounce over shot up onto that second fairway. You got to kind of adjust your wind and your ball, to how far you really think you're going to be able to make it, because it is going up. You do have to take an account for your elevation, because off that first bounce, it does go up, as you see here, and going up into that rough, you're going to have quite a bit of topspin to clip that rough and land up into the fairway. With too much topspin and too much tailwind, as you can see here, we will actually go all the way over and land into the rough on the other side, close near the green.
Great shot.
Boom. So as you can see here, we bounced the ball up that first fairway a little bit too hard. Don't clip the rough there. We end up on the second fairway and just into the rough. But we launched the ball so far that we'll be able to get up there with a rough iron, even though our opponent here is in a little bit of trouble. He ended up back further in the rough, so he's going to be in a lot more trouble than I am right now. We'll be able to make it to the green for a nice, putt on the next shot.
Great shot.
And he's going to have to chip it in. So we'll be in a little bit better position than he is right here. Okay, so machete shot here. Forgot I didn't have my razor on, but it'll be a little bit shorter of a shot here. We would have had a little bit of an easier attempt to get to the green if we had a better, distance club here. But we'll use our machete. We have a little bit of a tailwind. We'll use all the topspin we can, a little bit of overpower, and we'll try to get as far up towards that green as we can to see if we can't get on the green and make a putt, or get up close to the green and have a nice chip in for a birdie. All right, so my opponent's turn here. He's got the Hornet level 6, 8.3 mile an hour headwind coming right back at him. This one he's going to line up, but he doesn't really adjust for his wind at all. See, it's going to be blowing back towards him, but he's not really accounting for that. The angle that it's blowing back towards him.
Great shot.
And how much it's really going to be blowing back towards him. But still makes it in, because he hits it great right, accounting for that angled wind. So think about that. If somebody can hit it great right, just getting lucky to get it in, imagine what you could do if you had the perfect adjustment and hit it perfect. So we both make it in here, taking ourselves to a shootout and seeing who can take the W. Can we stay on the win streak, or will we lose it? Okay, so one of the same shootout holes here, after our opponent got insanely lucky there with an 8.3 mile an hour headwind. We're going to play this one with the backbone as well, I'm pretty sure. But our opponent here has backbone level 10 and playing with an 8.6 mile an hour tailwind going away from us, shooting this ball straight, great left towards the pin with backspin, getting nowhere near the pin. Like I said, guys, this hole has an upward angle towards the pin, so you're really going to have to take account for that. Backspin back there, having your club that far back, is going to get you in a lot of trouble. We need to play this one off of this hill here, or if you're going to pull it back like that, make sure you have a little bit of top spin. Let your ball roll up over that hill and down into that green. Let it funnel right down into that hole there, But We play this one with a little bit of backspin off that hole here. Hit it perfect.
Shot.
And bing, bounce it right up off that green. A little bit too far because we didn't adjust, you know, for our elevation, and a little bit too much wind there for us. But we got right up onto that green towards the pin and took a better shot than the last. So we end up winning 14 win streak, boys. Probably the last hole we're gonna go over here, guys. But same as we played the last hole on this one. You know, try to line it up straight towards that the right side of that tip of the water there. Let's adjust for our wind about, you know, over about towards, you know, the middle of the red ring or so, towards the, you know, the other side of the red ring would be about our adjustment for this one. Double check it here, and we'll take a nice straight shot and get ourselves a nice setup towards the fairway.
Great shot.
And see if we can't get a nice shot towards the pin on this one, so we don't have to use our machete this time. Okay, so our opponent's shot here. He's going to use the Thor's hammer. Big money with the Thor's hammer. Gonna change up his club here to the extra mile. And he was thinking about playing this one to the left-hand side. It is also playable off the left-hand side. You might have a bounce over shot to bounce over that little creek there running through both the fairway and the green. But it is definitely doable. He's going to play this one to the right-hand side as well. Kingmaker ball. A little bit of overpower. And he hits it just a little bit great left, adjusting for his wind, I guess, a little bit, if that's the way he adjusts for his wind. And he's going to come up right to the right side of the rough there with a decent shot towards the pin on his next approach. Okay, our next shot here, guys, we have a nice shot here set up with the thorn towards the pin. We can either play this one, you know, straight towards the pin like I'm playing this one here, or we can play it with full backspin and jump it, you know, off the green, over the pin, and roll it back towards the pin and in. But we're going to adjust for this one at a 2.7, just a little bit over out of the yellow ring. And we're going to take our shot here. Hit a perfect ball.
Perfect
straight
shot.
Towards the pin. And let's get in the hole. Boom. Perfectly adjusted. Perfect backspin. Straight at the pin, boys. Straight at the pin. Easily done. All right, guys, so you can see my opponent here. He's going to put a little bit of backspin, a little bit of side spin here, try to set him up towards the hole. But that's kind of the trouble with this hole here. You know, if you don't get enough distance on that and get past that rough patch in the water there, you're going to have a little bit of trouble with distance and clubs. You could get changed up between your long iron and your short iron. And he also hits it great right here, which does not help his cause, pushing him more towards the right side of the pin than he wanted to be. And we take away another win, boys, snagging 15 wins in a row. Get that fire streak on deck. We got 15 wins, boys. Let's check it out. and I appreciate each and every one of you that have watched this video all the way through. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope this video helped you out. I hope some of the tips that I gave, and me walking you through how to play some of these holes in Tour 5, and the courses, different clubs, giving you an idea of what you're going to need, how you're going to have to play each hole, and just a general idea. So I hope this helps your Tour 5 play, and thank you guys so much who have subscribed and supported this channel. You guys mean so much to me, and I appreciate it. J-Rob, Team Energy, out.